Hello everyone, this is the real BeanJr here. I was requested to make this tutorial for everyone to show you how to use the install script for the DWC network server emulator. I've been getting a lot of requests for this, and I realized that video that showed you how to set up a DWC server in less than 2 minutes, that video is really outdated because the script has really grown, it's really changed. So I'm going to show you guys how to use it, some of the features that you might want to take into account for, and all that good stuff. So, you might be asking me, well, how do you use this? First of all, what you want to do is copy this wget command, and you want to type it into your terminal here. So here I have a terminal. If I type in the wget command, which is, I'm scrolling through all my available commands, but yeah, I can't find it because, well, yeah, awesomeness. Let's see if I can bring up the history. So yeah, as you can see, history number 201 is basically the command that you type in. For those of you who don't know, this semicolon, or this colon, I don't know what you guys want to call it, basically the non-shifted version, basically separates multiple commands on one line. So all I basically did was say wget this install.sh and then change the mode so it's executable for this install.sh, which basically makes it green and allows you to run it. Now, obviously, for those of you who are not root, I will show you guys what will happen if you attempt to run the script. It'll say you must be root to do that. Another check I have in place is if you are, for example, in another directory. Let's go with, I don't know, let's go in the root directory so that we're not in the directory with a bunch of stuff. All right. Yeah, somehow... yeah, some files inadvertently got created. Might as well just get those removed as soon as possible. Anyways, let's say I try to run the script as, I don't know, home pi install.sh. Let's say, yeah, it must be root to do that. But however, if I try to take a shortcut, it'll say busted. Please run the script in the current directory where it is located. So the reason I have it set up that way is because the way that this works is any files that are created in the script, so like the JIT clones and the admin page and all that stuff, basically it gets put into the PWD value. So if I say echo $PWD, it will tell me that my PWD is /, which is root. There's a little crash course on how the Linux command line works. Right back to the video. So essentially you want to be running the script on a clean system as well. It will kind of warn you when you get into it, but I've run this script half a dozen times on a system, and the reason for this is because there's an actual full uninstall option. So there's a full uninstall option. You can actually you could actually use that to fully uninstall your server and rerun the script as many times as you like. In fact, there is going to be an update soon to the script, which will basically, ask you if you want to update the GitHub repository or if you want to do that manually. I'm going to have that set as a manual option in the menu system. So enough talking, let's get into the install script. So to call it, you just type in sudo./install.sh. You have to be in your PWD has to be that of where your script is located. So mine is in the home folder. So if I hit enter here, it says install.sh script confirmed present. Let's continue. apt-get detected. So I also have a check in the script as well, so that if apt-get is not detected on your system, the script will not run. The reason for this is because systems like Arch Linux and whatever systems do not support apt-get. The script heavily relies on apt-get to install the packages. Maybe someone talented enough can write some if statements so that if the system does not support apt-get, that maybe an additional package or manager can be used. I don't know, there's just too many variables to take into account here. So I just thought, well, hey, one system fits all, right? Well, no, not really. You have to have an OS that supports apt-get. So right now what it's doing is it's installing the git package, since we don't have it installed. D package was run so that it would have been confirmed present, and then it would have skipped to clone in the GitHub, which is exactly what we're doing right now. So whenever you rerun the script, I also have checks so that whenever you rerun the script, it will check if Git is installed, okay? And it will also check that you have the GitHub clone inside of the PWD. And if you don't have it in the PWD, it will reclone that Git. Now, unfortunately, if you guys plan on moving this Git clone to somewhere else, just please be advised that that's what's going to happen, okay? Now, here I have a menu system. The menu system is kind of simple at the moment. There's 6 options. And if I try to enter anything but 6, so say if I enter, I don't know, 7, it'll say 7 is not a valid entry. And it will repeat the menu until there is something that's either 6 or lower. Anytime I add new options, I have to make the if statement a little bit more forgiving. So for example, I have it say until reply. So the reply variable is something that's built into default in Linux. I don't feel like just rambling on about the command line right now, but basically the reply value is something that's built into Linux where if the script asks a question and it expects a response from you, that's the reply variable for that moment in time. So if the reply variable for this is not less than 6, then it will keep repeating the menu system until something is chosen. For example, I don't know, say 3 to exit, but we're not going to do that. And I'm just going to demonstrate really quick that yes, it'll say Git repository detected, and the Git clone is detected, so there's no need to reclone the Git. So now I'm just going to go ahead and hit 1 here. And what that's going to do is it's going to pop a little warning message saying, before we begin, you should know it's best to run the script on a completely squeaky clean installation of preferably Ubuntu or Raspbian. And when I say Ubuntu, I mean Ubuntu 14.04 or later, not Ubuntu 12 because that's kind of dropped for support. But anyways, if you don't, then things can go horribly wrong. Would you like to continue with this install? At your own risk, of course. So I either have a yes or no. So if I say yes, then it will continue. If I say no, it will say, okay, come back whenever you're ready. So I don't know, for whatever reason, if you want to postpone the installation, then you can do that. But in this case, we're just going to say yes and continue on. Right now, it's actually doing the update of your package repositories. No, it's not doing a system update for your for all your existing packages installed, because there's going to be a little warning message that's going to be coming up in a little bit, which will warn you about doing a system upgrade. So we're going to be seeing that in a little bit. I'm not going to cut this video. Oh yeah, it says updated repo lists. And then I have a question that has come up here saying, install package upgrades. This is not recommended because it could break things. Usually if you're a casual user, you'd want to do this upgrade. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to do the upgrade, but it is recommended otherwise. So I'm just going to hit no for that. And then right now what it's going to do is it's going to install the required packages for things like Python 2.7, Python Twisted, Apache 2, and DNS Mask, I believe. Those are all the packages that are required for installation. Alright, so now we're going to be copying over the Apache virtual host files and explain to you guys what's going on here. So while it's doing that, basically if any of these fail, so if any of these module activations or virtual host activations fail, I basically have backup plans. I will have a link in the description to the script that you guys can have a look at, or you can cat the script or nano the script to see how the script actually works and what it's doing, for those of you who want to get educated in how I do my scripts. Now we're at the DNS mask setup. For those of you who don't know what DNS mask is, it's basically a DNS server. We're basically going to be using this server to redirect all queries of NintendoWiFi.net to our IP address. Now, I have a little explanation here, and it's asking you, first of all, what's your external IP address? And I also said, note that if you do plan on running this on a LAN, that you should use your LAN IP address instead. And to get your external IP address, there's actually multiple ways of getting it. But the way I like to get it is going to the seemyip.com website. I will have a link to that in the description as well. I feel like I'm going to be extra helpful right now for you guys. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to put in my LAN IP address. I really don't care. In fact, I'm not even going to use the server as a test. I'm just going to prove a point here. Just going to hit enter on that. It's going to restart your DNS mask. If for whatever reason you do get errors, then you're going to have to look into them yourself, because there's really not much that I can do in terms of scripting all this stuff. But if you do get any funky little errors, you should Google them up. You should look into them yourself, because maybe something on your system has gone wrong. Maybe you were the one that broke your system and not me. Because I've run the script on like 3 different systems, and it's worked across all of them each and every time. So anyways, now we're at the point where we need to set up the admin page login details. The admin page login details are for accessing your ban system. Yes, your server will have a ban system, but a very crude but effective ban system at that. And it will tell you how to access the ban system at some point. And I will explain to you guys how to access your own ban system on your server. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in admin for the username and admin for the password. And there you go. Your setup is now complete. You can go ahead and start your server. Now to start your server, what you need to do is cd into your DWC network server emulator folder, and then do an LSL and see what is owned by what, because this script literally makes it so that your DWC network server emulator is owned by root. So if you try to run your master server as not being root, then you will get problems. So in this case, what we need to do is type in sudo python master_server.py. It's best to use tab completion for that, because it is a rather long command to type in. Once you do that and you hit enter, you should get a bunch of lines that will tell you that certain database tables are being created, and certain ports are listening for connections from certain addresses. I will have a separate video covering the port forwarding aspect of the server, in case you want to make it accessible from the outside world, and how you'd go about having people join your server from the outside world. Okay, so here's my desktop. This is actually the page that is responsible for telling you how to set up your own server. So if you don't get everything that I specifically mentioned here, then you can either do this manually yourself, which is kind of a learning experience for yourself actually. I once did it manually because that's how I wrote this install script. Is I actually took what was all done here manually and I made it all automated with a bunch of if statements and a menu system. So that took several months to write, just so you know. And also another thing too is you always want to keep an eye on this repository here. If you see any new commits, for example, there was a new commit today for Apache virtual hosts, which is not really huge or anything, but if you do see any major updates, like for example, let's see this, if you see any major updates like this, you might want to consider recloning your JIT. So that means deleting your current git clone and running the script and then exiting out of it, so it actually gets a chance to reclone your git. However, what you might want to do in this case is back up your profiles database, back up your log files to somewhere safe, so you could put them all back again. And another thing too that you might want to check out is this repository here. This is actually my repository for my install script. So you want to look for any commits here, and any commit that I submit is actually pretty huge. For example, this one today that I wrote is actually several lines long, and this basically takes into account for that virtual host change. Not to mention, while you're there, you might actually want to consider looking at the script, seeing how it works, and whatnot. Now back to the task at hand here. Let's go ahead and show you guys how to get access to your admin page. The way I'm doing this is actually slightly different because there's actually a quick link to it on the home page. This is what it will look like actually. But the address that you want to put in is your IP address of your Pi or your Linux system or whatever. In my case, I'm using a Pi. It's not the Pi that I just installed the server on. I actually have another Pi running the server, so I actually have two Pis. One for running the server itself and another Pi for experimental stuff. But you want to put your IP address to your Pi or your system and then :9009/banhammer, and then it will pop up a little login prompt for a username and a password. And the username and the password are stored in that admin page conf.json file. That's also something you might want to back up when you update your git clone. Is those three main things: the admin page conf file, the logs folder, and your gpcm.db file. You want to back those three up, put them in a safe place, and just put them all back in the DWC folder when you've successfully updated. But basically, when you ban any of these, it will prevent the profiles from connecting and the related consoles from connecting until you unban them. This ban system is kind of strong in a way that no naive person will be able to bypass it, but it is bypassable. I do have to say, unfortunately. If for whatever reason, and I did indeed have to do this, if for whatever reason a certain ID is being shared by multiple people, then this is where the whitelisting system comes in. The whitelisting system, you put the game ID, the user ID, and the MAC address of the person that you want to whitelist, and whether or not their ID is banned, they're allowed to create new profiles, while everyone else who's not in the whitelist isn't allowed to create new profiles. So that's something that is good to know for that. Another cool thing that you might want to consider checking out is the stats page of your server. This basically populates whenever people are online. They're playing games. It'll tell you how many people are playing a certain game, and that's basically that. So hopefully I helped you guys out with this. In the next video, like I said, I will show you guys how to port forward your server. So I hope this video didn't bore you on for too long. You could have stopped watching after the installation was complete, but I just wanted to pass on some quick notes for anyone, because I think this is important for you to understand on how all this works. So please leave a like if this helped you guys out. Please write your comments down below if you have any questions or problems, and I will try to look into them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.